Hey everyone, we're excited to be here this morning, and I have an awesome guest coming all the way from Bahamas, Lyndah Wells. Lyndah, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, it's great. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I love now. I imagine everyone that knows that you're in the Bahamas asks you, like, is this where you've lived all your life? Are you on vacation, like an extended vacation right now? Like, what? Tell us a little bit about how you got to the Bahamas and your business there.
Okay, so I'm originally from London, England, and I actually came to the Bahamas, 13 years ago this month on a 10-day vacation, right?
And it's like the Gilligan's Island, you just couldn't get off, huh?
Kind of like that. I met this guy, and we ended up getting married, and we have two girls. I've been a wedding photographer now for the past coming on 7 years. Yeah, so
that's fantastic. That's awesome. That's so cool. So you went there literally on a 10-day vacation, met a guy, ended up getting married, and stuck around. I love it. I love it. You already got friends chiming in. Tamaya says, "Hey, Lyndah." So
great, hi,
Tamaya. You got Seth saying "boom" and Jeff Watkins saying "hey, hey." You got all these people. I love it. I love it. So, Lyndah, I absolutely love your work, and I'm super stoked to show off some of these images to people. For those who are watching this for the first time, we do these How I Shot It interviews about once a week here in the MagMod community. And the way we set them up is we basically spend about 20 or 30 minutes with an awesome, talented photographer like Lyndah, and she gets to share just a few images with us, 3 or 4 images. And what I love about this episode is Lyndah has some behind-the-scenes shots as well. So not only will you see the final image, but she's going to kind of reveal the magic behind how she created it. So I'm excited to share that with everybody. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, we always post these afterwards on YouTube. Be sure to join us in the MagMod community. If you just search on Facebook, #MagMod community, you can join us there. There's like 30,000 photographers in there, and they're always sharing photos and behind the scenes and things like that. So you can learn kind of some of the magic behind creating images with MagMod modifiers. So with that introduction, actually, Lyndah, before we even move forward, real quick, can you just tell us how we find you? Like, what's your website, your Instagram, that kind of stuff?
Yep. My website and Instagram, everything is Lyndah Wells Photography. I spell my name Lyndah. There's an H in there, and then Wells, Wells Photography. So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. My website is lynndahwells.com.
Love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, Lyndah, with that, we're going to jump right into this, I'm going to have you go ahead. Oh, hold on, we got Timothy is also commenting here. Timothy Irick says, "Hey, Lyndah." Everybody's taking advantage of the opportunity to send greetings to their Bahamas friend. They're all trying to score points.
I know, right? To come over.
Right, exactly. Right. You got Raphael Serrano. He's saying, "Stopping in and saying hi." See, everybody, they all want to be on your good side.
That's great.
Love it. So, Lyndah, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you share your screen. And then I'm going to make you go full, so you can take up the full screen here, and we'll talk about some of those images.
All right, here we go.
Oh, now everyone gets to see me because on your share screen.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Awesome. Right. There we go. I can see it just perfect now.
Can you see this?
I can. Yep, we can see that image, and yeah. Oh my goodness, this one's beautiful. I can't wait to hear about it.
All right. So this was a wedding shot in December. Actually, it was and it was we were out on the beach with the bridal party, and the sun started going down, and it was just this amazing orange and then red sunset. So for this image, we placed the couple on the rocks. They're standing on some rocks, and I had my second shooter who was with me. Hi, G-Day. He was behind the couple to their right with a monopod and a boob on that right below the groom's arm. And he turned it up so we could get that beautiful rim light and also get that great sunset. So just some really thoughtful posing. And I think this shot came out really, really well.
It did. So a couple things that I love about this image, Lyndah, is one, the fact that the sky looks beautiful. You got this gorgeous sky behind him, but it doesn't look overly flashy. Does that make sense? Like, you know how when sometimes an image, like it's like it's so underexposed behind them that they're lit up in front, and so it looks very like there's a lot of flash going on. But here you got this great balance of flash and ambient light, which I think is absolutely beautiful.
Right.
And then, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was going to say I like to do this type of shot quite a bit. So I have it's a very simple setup. It's something that anyone can do. Just I have a behind the scenes setup for this. So
we would love to see that.
So that's this. So you can see right here, he's got the monopod, the boob is there. You can still see that great light on her hair, and then I just in post, you can see the sky is really well exposed as well. So I just added some fill in Photoshop, and this is another shot. It's a very, very similar shot. I like to do this. I had a grid on my camera. I had a flash on my camera, and then my lighting assistant is crouched down behind the couple with the flash pointing straight up, slightly bent actually to get in under their chins. So this is a similar setup that I like to do.
I love it. So Lyndah, on these shots, and the last one might even be a better example of it, but or it might be easier to see it. But are you doing anything? Are you telling the guy to be a little bit in front of her so that light, because the light's bouncing off of his face and illuminating her? Yeah. Are you kind of helping them to be in that position?
I am. Really, with my posing, I always try and get the couple to turn faces slightly so it's not like nose to nose, and more for if he looks at her lip or she looks at his lip and turns her head a little bit. That way, I find that the light is spread more evenly, that rim light, rather than it just being kind of flat or just on one side.
Gotcha. I love it. I think what's great about this is people can also see, so you had the behind the scenes shot on this, and they can kind of see that what you're doing is you're getting that little bit of light on them so that then you can, in editing, for example, you can create that magic. You can bring it back a little bit. But without that little bit of light there, you wouldn't have that dimension. You wouldn't have the difference between light and darkness there and so forth. The dimension on her cheek, for example. It's beautiful. Yeah. Awesome job. Incredible image. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know this is one that comes up a lot where I've seen photos like this. And so people now get an opportunity to kind of see how it's created or behind the scenes. And you said, tell us one more time, which modifier did you have on that flash behind there?
It has the boob on it. I love to use that. So this did not have a grid because I wanted a little bit more power. So I use the MagSphere all the time. Yep. Yeah.
Excellent. I love how if originally you said boob. I was just going to say in Bahamas they call it the boob.
MagSphere.
No, that's phenomenal. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing that. We got Matt over here, Matt Gruber, saying, "Hey, I love these videos." Oh, now everyone can see me on your screen again.
I'm just
no, you're good.
So that you can see me. Can you see me?
We can totally see you now. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, and that's a much better view. People are like, "We do not want to see Trevor."
But you look great. You look like Trevor.
Well, thank you, Lyndah. I appreciate that. So awesome. So Lyndah, and before you even go back to your next photo to share, tell us real quickly, do you have like a favorite modifier you like to use?
I love the grids.
You love the grids?
I do. I recently, I was always afraid of flash. I remember starting photography, and I had this photographer friend that used to help me out, and he used to say to me, "Oh, Lyndah, you need to get into flash." I was like, no, it's so scary. And I can't remember where I think, it was you. I heard of MagGrids from you, from years ago, and I bought just your basic grid and one grid. That's what I started with, just the one. And I started using it, and it's really changed the way that I shoot and I light. It's quick, it's effortless. I can set up. I can go on a quick shoot and just take like one flash with one trigger and a grid and a boob, MagSphere, and really get some great images. It's really just changed the way I approach my photography.
I love it. What is it about the grid? Like for somebody, if they were learning, how to use a MagGrid or why use a MagGrid, what would you say is your number one reason to use a MagGrid? Like what do you normally use it for?
Well, I use it for especially for reception light, I use it to control my light.
There.
That's just the best way to describe it. When and depending on how much light I want on the subject, now I have 8 grids, so I have 4 flashes, so I can spread them around. But if I really want to control that light, I can place 2 or 3 on, to pinpoint that light. But normally for my reception light, I will have my stands cross-lighting in the room, and then I'll have a grid placed on that. And I tend to work also with a lighting assistant that has a monopod, and there'll always be a grid on that, and possibly a gel as well. So it depends, yeah.
And just to go back to what you had referred to, you talked about light control, and that's exactly, I tell people the easiest way to know what a grid does is you hold it up to your eye, and literally when you hold it up to your eye, you can only see straight forward. You can't see your periphery, and that's exactly what it does to your light. It just sends it all straight forward, doesn't scatter real quick around the room and light everything up or light up all the trees and that kind of stuff. So I love it. Hey, Lyndah, Gladys wanted to know, she says, can she tell us how she exposes for these images? So in other words, I think what Gladys is asking is that shot with the sky, you can see that beautiful sky. And a lot of times people have issues where when they expose for the couple, then the sky is like bright white. And so I think what Gladys is wondering is maybe is there anything that goes through your mind when you're exposing for these images, to get the beautiful color in the sky and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, I tend to work a lot outdoors on the beach. We have these great beaches, great colors. So I always think about it like, if you're taking photos on the beach, you're there because you want to see that scenery, you want to see that landscape. So I will tend to expose for the sky and then fill with a flash modifier. So that's how I work. I definitely expose for the sky and then fill.
It's funny. Occasionally, Lyndah, when I do that, I'll go up and the couple will be posed or they'll be looking really pretty at each other. And I'll literally just step to the side of them and point my camera at the sky, almost as if I was taking pictures of birds or something, right? But I point at the sky just to get kind of a meter reading, and then I'll underexpose it just a little bit, 1 or 1.5 stops, something like that, get that color, and then light them up with a flash. So
one little trick that I use, because I shoot in a lot of sunlight, I always use a circular polarizer. It just helps me bring down the stops of light just a little bit, and it helps the colors in the sky just become a little bit more vivid. I
love it. The circular polarizers are really popular for beach shooters and things, especially get that water looking really pretty, and love it. Awesome. So Lyndah, you give us all this great information. Let's dive into a few more of your photos here.
All right, let's go.
Got Tibbles is asking if snacks will be provided today. maybe he's wondering about like tea and crumpets, or I'm not sure.
I unfortunately no, but do love a good cup of tea though.
There we go. Excellent. I love this image. This is beautiful.
Okay, so this was bridal portrait sunset shoot. Just the sun was going down. So what I did with this is I positioned my camera close to the ground and focused on the couple. I wanted to exposed for the sky again, as you can see. And then I had my assistant with another with a monopod and the MagSphere on that, pointing directly on them. Now with this, I didn't put a grid on this because I wanted some light on the ground as well. If I'd put maybe a grid or 2, I think the light would have been too controlled. I wanted some of that spill to light up the ground.
Thank you for mentioning that, because I think that's one of the things that a lot of people ask about is, when would I use a MagSphere and when would I use a grid, with the sphere? Because a lot of times that's a really popular combination as well. But I love how you're right, that light just kind of it spreads across the ground there, and it just really brings your attention to that couple. I love it.
So this is it's not the same shot, but you can see the setup of it, and you can see what's happening there with the MagSphere. So I just wanted to show that so you can see how well they're lit. This is I love seeing the details of a bride's dress. For me, that's super important. So I don't like it to be too overexposed. So you can see the kind of control that I have for that on this shot.
I think it's worth noting as well, Lyndah, is that when you have that MagSphere up and off the camera as opposed to on, then it really creates that beautiful shadow in that bride's dress as well to show it off. Whereas if it was on camera, it would light up her whole dress and you wouldn't see that dimension.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Trevor. So, and then the next image, I want to talk, this is reception lighting. And so this is a small venue, and, you know, we had the videographers in there, and then myself, my second photographer. So how I set up my reception lighting is, you can see a little bit up here, right there. That is my lighting assistant on the monopod, and there's a grid on that right there. And I have a light stand directly behind me, about 8 feet up, pointing into the center of the dance floor. And I will also have on my camera a flash. So this was lit with the 3. So it's you can see her dress and her face is really clearly lit, and then you've got that light hitting the garter right there. He's just got it up and he's like twirling it around, and his face is evenly lit. And what I love about it is the light behind me, which has a grid on, is illuminating the guests that are behind right here as well. That's awesome.
I love that when you're able to use light in different areas of the reception to really just kind of bring dimension to the scene. And you said you had you like to have a flash on camera as well. Is that right?
I do just for Phil. I tend to have shoot with 2 cameras, so I tend to have one with a trigger and no flash, and then one with, so I can control the type of shots I'm taking. If I want more sort of dynamic light without the fill, I'll use the camera without the flash, and then if I need more fill, I'll use the camera with the flash.
Love it. Is there a question that tends to come up a lot is ETTL or TTL versus manual. Do you tend to pick one or the other? Do you normally shoot on manual, or do you normally shoot on ETTL?
I always shoot on manual because I have no clue on TTL, I'm going to be honest. I shoot on manual. I like to control everything.
Yeah.
So all my flashes, I use the flashpoint system, so I control all the flashes, and I have 4, so I control all of them, either with the trigger or with the flash that's on my camera.
Love it. Thank you. I love those flashes. Those are the same ones I have, and they're great flashes. Let's see. I think you had another reception shot, and before, actually, I'm sorry. After you do this reception shot, Christina had a question as well, but let's talk about this one first.
Okay. All right. So this is exact same setup here. Now with this, so I have the one on camera. I have my lighting assistant, who is, and there's a light position. Oops, get it back. There's a light positioned to the groom, camera left of the groom. Sorry, I'm trying to get this back up.
That's okay.
And there's a flash on my camera, and then the lighting assistant. You can see the light over here. See that spill? I have a stand here, right there too. So we've got light kind of rimming these guys, just giving them some separation.
Yes.
And then you can see their faces are all clearly lit, and then the groom is lit. So,
I think one of the most important lights in this shot is the one behind him, just because it gives them that nice separation. Each guy is has that, it's almost like you can carve them right out of the photograph. It really makes it stand out.
Yeah. Sometimes, and all the lights on my stands are always gridded. And sometimes if, I will turn one of them off if I'm trying to create a certain feel or look, but at this point in the reception, with a lot of movement, things happening, they're all like sets of fire. And in case anyone wants to know my settings, I tend to use like 1/16. That's the power that I use, so the recycling time can work quickly.
Love it, love it. Actually, thank you for mentioning that as well, because that is something that comes up as far as if they do use manual power, which I highly recommend anyone, if you're learning how to use flashes, definitely learn how to use them in manual. And then I love how you put out there right then, hey, 1/16 power is what I typically will use them at. Excellent. So there's a couple questions that have come up. Christina was wondering on this shot, I believe this goes all the way back to not the first shot, but the shot of the sunset where they were lit with the MagSphere and you had the maze. It looked like water.
Yeah.
she was wondering on that image, did you use a 24 millimeter, or do you remember what lens you used?
I think it would either be my 30. No, actually, I do remember what lens I used. I used my wide. I have this. It's discontinued. It's a Sigma 17 to 35. Oh, wow. It was my very first lens that I bought that wasn't a kit lens. Uh-huh. And it goes super wide. There is a little bit of distortion in it, but I can correct that in post. So that's what I used. I can't remember exactly what focal length it was, but it was that length. That lens.
Awesome. Talwin was wondering how far away your assistant was from the couple, but it looks like he got that answer because you had showed the behind the scenes with the sphere.
Yeah.
So probably it looked like maybe about 8 feet or so, something like that.
Yeah.
We got Arno is saying beautiful light. Arno's an amazing photographer, so that's coming from a very talented person.
Oh,
actually, all of these people commenting are so talented. You got Tim is saying flashpoint for the win. I agree. Flashpoint makes some great flashes. Yep. So
and they're a great price point as well. So.
They are. They really are. And then Daniel was wondering. He asked here MagSphere and the grid. Oh, he's asking the question why. Oh, okay. Actually, would you be interested in answering this? As far as, do you ever combine the MagSphere and the MagGrid together?
I do. I tend to do it when I want to have control of the light, but I also want a slight diffusion of light. I don't want it too harsh when I'm looking for. It's not a softer light, but it is. I don't know how to describe it.
You know, it's interesting because this question actually, I get this question a lot at trade shows. So like at WPPI next week, people are always come up and they say, why would you combine a MagSphere and a MagGrid? And I think the easiest way is you get the control of light, but then you get this kind of soft transition on the edges.
That's right.
So it's like this soft fall off as opposed to kind of this, harder control. So I think that might be the easiest way to explain it, but yeah, I love using it as well. Hey, you got comments just rolling in here. My goodness, Lyndah, you got all kinds of friends everywhere. Wendy, I think Wendy says exactly what we're all believing or thinking. She says she is adorable. Second shooting with her would be so much fun.
Listen, I love having my friends come down and second shooting with me. So Wendy, it could happen.
Yeah. See, now we all want to be your friend. That's it. Kamaya says she's adorable and such a sweet person. You got Jean is saying beautiful and greetings from Belgium. See, I'm telling you, I don't know if we've had this many comments ever before, and I think it's just because you're in the Bahamas.
I think so.
No, you really are. You are super sweet. And Chad says it all great right here. He says lovely work. So, well, we're not done yet. I know you have a few more images. I can't remember exactly. Just one more. Awesome. One more. Well, we can't wait to share it.
All right. So here we go. All right. So this I made this a couple of weeks ago. And this was I always like to do a night portrait, like end of night. Mm-hmm. And so this is the behind the scenes. This is the setup, and I'm showing this because I want to show. This is a 4-light setup. Uh-huh. So, a friend of mine, a really great photographer, he always tells me, work with what you have already there, and then build to it. So when I was scouting the location for this shot, I noticed that there was these I think there are chandeliers up there, and then there was this chandelier up on hanging from the tree. So what I decided to do was, you can see my flashes here. So this one here has a magenta gel right there. There are no grids on these, not on these ones here because I wanted sort of the full power. And I did that so I could light up this palm tree here. Mm-hmm. I put a teal gel right there to light up this side. And right here is my light stand. You can see the legs. And right here is the top of it. And there is a grid right there on this pointing directly at the couple right there. You can see kind of the fall off. Now this orange light, this was already there. This was, I think maybe there's an uplighter or something like that. That was there. I just positioned them in a spot where I felt that all the colors could complement. So the next shot that you see, it's a small shot, but this is the shot when I just, simply took away the light stand
Yeah.
I haven't taken away the 2 flashes though. You can still see them there, but I got rid of this tree in post because it just didn't sit well with me. It was just, I felt like maybe if the palms had hanging down, it would have been better. But that was really the only thing that I changed about this. I think there might have been a half CTO on this, to behind the grid. And the reason why I put the grid on the couple here is to control the light.
Can we see the final image again?
Sorry. So it's small. I'm not sure why it's so small, but this is the final image.
I love it. I love it. I wonder in Lightroom. I wonder if you hit Z, it's probably just a smaller crop of the shot. There we go. There we go. Love it.
Thank you.
No, and that way, because I want everyone to be able to appreciate this. It's such a pretty shot. And so literally on the right, you used a magenta gel just on your flash. And then on the left, you used a cyan or teal gel. And so that way you added a color. And then you had one flash right there in the middle that you showed in the behind the scenes. And that was lighting them up with a grid, you said. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. It has a grid on it.
Love it. That's phenomenal. I love the use of all the different lighting that you use. And you even have that orange ambient light on the stairs there that really just complements. In order to get that ambient, did you remember like where your shutter was at? Did you use like 1/60th or do you happen to remember?
I do have it. I think it wasn't, oh gosh, to be honest, I can't remember.
It's kind of a crazy question now that
it wasn't too slow though.
Yeah.
I think I had my ISO maybe like 3200.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
So you were able to bring in that light with the ISO.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's what I did rather than slowing down the shutter because I wasn't sure if they were going to move. And I didn't want to, even though I know the flash is going to freeze them, I didn't want to take the risk because I was actually really far away from them. I was using my 85 for compression.
Love it. Yeah, to keep that shutter speed up a little bit. I love it. Talwin is wondering, as far as the background, I think you had mentioned this kind of in the beginning. You're basically, when you set up the shot, you stepped back, you looked at the lights kind of in the window and so forth, and you essentially said, I want to include that stuff. And so you exposed for the background first. That's right, yes. And then lit them up. Love it.
Yeah, I did quite a few test shots before getting them from their the reception to come out because it's a little bit of walk away. So I wanted to be sure that I was completely set up before I put them in the scene.
Awesome. Well, Lyndah, I'm going to have you come back and join me so we can see your face here. Excellent. So thank you so much. Those are phenomenal images. Like I said, there's lots of comments. People are just going crazy. They love seeing your work. And Chelsea is wondering, she says, this is gorgeous. And she's wondering, do you have any tutorials that you would recommend? Or how did you learn, in other words, how did you learn how to capture all this stuff?
By the MagMod community. Literally, I would see something that really interested me, and I would just try and practice it. I think my most basic, the way I started was a simple shot. Like I said, I take a lot of pictures on the beach, so I would expose for the sky, and then I would use one flash with a grid, and then maybe add a gel, and then I'd feel if that turned out well, I'd get, okay, maybe I could add something like as a rim light, or I could add more gels to light up something behind, and it's just basically trial and error.
Yeah. It's interesting. I like to think practice makes progress.
Absolutely.
I mean, you'll never go out there and you'll never nail it, perfectly, but you'll get better with each time you practice. And I love it. I too, I get so inspired. I learn so much from that MagMod community. It's fantastic. So there's, I'm going to see if maybe we can answer this. Kenny has a question about reception lighting. He says, is the flashpoint light on your stand triggered by both cameras? In other words, because you had mentioned you had two cameras, one with a flashpoint flash and then one with a trigger. So he's wondering, are they both on the same channel so that when you pick up one camera and you're firing with the flash on camera, it will fire that as well as the one with the trigger?
So I have the flashpoint on my camera is on I have channel 10, ABC, And then on the other one, it's channel 4 ABC. So they're not going to be misfiring. They're not going to fire for each other.
Gotcha. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Wonderful. Lyndah, you have been a resource of information, so much good information. Again, people can find you at LyndahWells.com. That's my website. My Instagram is Lyndah Wells Photography. It's typically just Lyndah Wells. Lyndah with an H. Lyndah with a Y and an H. Love it. Love it. And if anyone wants to slip you some money to hopefully get you down to Bahamas, they'll see you at WPPI next week, right? You're going to be heading out that way?
I am. Absolutely. I head out on Sunday, so I will be at WPPI. I can't wait to connect with you guys. So.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing you. A couple of people had mentioned that they also love using circular polarizers as well.
Good.
Oh,
yeah. Go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's one question. Adrian was wondering. He does say, does the circular polarizer affect skin tones?
It does. It does. Mm-hmm. I love it for skin tones because I find, and a funny story, when I first got my circular polarizer, I had it for like about maybe 3 months before I realized that if you turned it 45 degrees, it actually worked. And I think I just had it on and was thinking it was working magically. And then one day I turned it and all of a sudden, the sky and the water just like became like really blue. And what it does for me, the skin tones, it kind of mattifies. So the glare that you get normally, on the T-zone, it tends to go. And that's why I love using it for that.
Awesome. And I'm gonna finish with this question here. Talwin, he was wondering, when you are on the beach, do you ever use high-speed sync out of your flashes?
I don't use that.
Yeah. Excellent. Hey, and then Tamaya actually, she put in your website for everyone to see as well, so they can go check it out.
Thanks, Tamaya!
Excellent. Hey, Lyndah, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I really appreciate it. Your enthusiasm, you're so much fun, and everyone loves your smile and your laughter and so forth. So we just appreciate it. You've helped us all start off our day amazingly. So thank you.
It's such a great community. I learned so much from it, and it's I'm really happy to be a member of it.
Excellent. Well, we're glad you're there. We're glad you're able to share those images. So thank you again, and thanks everyone for joining us. Again, we try to do these weekly, so definitely stay tuned for more of these. And then if you miss it live, you can always catch it either in the community or on YouTube. So Lyndah, thank you again. Appreciate it. You have a wonderful day, okay?
Everyone, have a great day.
All right. Bye.